Hello, my name is Fanta Sesay. I'm the president and founder of CSP Foundation, also known as Children Support Program. I was born in West Africa, Sierra Leone, in Kono district. I grew up in Wambali district, Kamabai. My father is a Madingo and my mother is a Fula. My fondest memory of Kamabai and the most memorable one is on a vacation that my parents and I took for 1 week to Kamabai. I was just a little girl then. It was time to return back, and we went into the car and ended up trying to go to Kono. But on the way back, I was crying for like almost 10-15 minutes. So my parents, they asked me, "Why are you crying?" I said I wanted to go back. Go back where? I said I want to go back to the village. They said, "But no, we live in Kono." I said, "No, I want to go back to live with those kids." So I got so temper tantrum. So my father decided to say, "Okay, let her go. Once she gets a little bit understanding that maybe she doesn't like it, she'll return back." So my father turned the car around and I went back, and then I stayed there for the next how many years, and I just loved every day of that experience. As I got a little older, my parents said I have to come to the city in order for me to know my siblings. Came to the big city, Freetown, and I went to the primary school there. I started in Trinity. From there, I went to Aniwalch. It was in Aniwalch that I was given the opportunity to come to the United States. As I came to the United States, I finished up my high school here in New Jersey. So I was given the opportunity to come to America in the early 80s, which was a culture shock for me because the roads were so big in my eyes. The food was, oh my God, too much. Food was everywhere, and hot water coming from the tap. That was really a big deal to me. I think there was a point where I would say, "Oh my God, water is hot." So from that point on, the most amazing thing was 24-hour light. For those of us that come from Africa, we know how the light system is there. So I was like, "Oh my God, the light system, 24 hours, you don't have to turn it off, it stays on." Oh, it took me back to my little village in Kamabai, where the most precious light was the moon that the kids follow at night. And we walk as the moon. We feel like when we're walking and the moon is walking. So for me, that was like a blessing in disguise. But all through that, I was just homesick. But I learned how to adapt to the system. Then I ended up going to high school. From there, I got married. From there, I got children. That point on, I went into the medical field. So as I went into the medical field, I ended up working in the nursing home for 25 years. My experience of having to have the opportunity to come to this wonderful country, there was always one thing in my head. I never forgot the fact that I was one of those kids in Kamabai. I always have the memory of when my parents, as I would call it, make the U-turn to take me back after my temper tantrum in the car. So it's always dawned on me that I was fortunate to be given this opportunity. How can I remember them? So I decided that for everything that I have in the United States, the best thing I can do was share some of it so that I can be an impact and help people. And I've done that basically. For those that know me, for the past 20 or more years since I've been in the state. Throughout my time in the United States, I traveled to Guinea and Sierra Leone. Every time I go, I felt a sense of pain in my heart because I was very fortunate to come to this wonderful country to help myself and my family. Deep down in my heart, I felt a sense of pain because there are still children in Africa who have been forgotten and are suffering. That's when I decided that I'll let my children know that what they have in this country is the greatest opportunity that anyone can have in the world. So they decided and started their own project where they can walk in my footsteps. So one of my sons decided to adopt and sponsor a class from one of the orphanage schools from the children that were displaced after the war. He collected his school supplies and even gave me his allowance to buy more school supplies. He started collecting things from his friends. He calls it the African box, until the box was filling up for me to take to Sierra Leone. A year later, I was fortunate to go to Sierra Leone again, and I took the school supplies with me to distribute them. Went to the school. To my surprise, as we were sharing the gifts that he had put together, I had a bunch of kids outside crying. So I asked the teacher, I said, "What's going on? What's happening to those children?" He says they're crying because they said they never got a gift. I felt so bad because it was only 44 gifts, and here are 150 or more children outside, almost literally crying to say they were left out. So I had to call all the children and bring them in a big classroom and tell them that, no, I didn't forget about you. I just had a little bit of gift that my son gave me because he was in 3rd grade and he adopted this class. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to make sure that you get your own gift from him and my other children that are there, any kind of way. I took a promise to them that their gift is on the way. After leaving the school, I went into my car. I was literally in tears because it reminded me of the day that I was crying when my parents made that U-turn to take me back to that village in Kamavai. From that day on, I realized that I need help to reach more children. I started asking my neighbors, family members, friends to give me anything they can afford, be it old clothes, shoes, toys, school supplies, anything, funds, it doesn't matter, as long as it's something that is usable so I can take it to the forgotten children in Africa. And I've been doing this for over 25 years, and it's a passion that I want to do for the rest of my life. So in 2019, as the boxes starts to pile up, as they've always done, my husband asked me one day, how are you going to pay for all these donations that you've collected, given your medical condition now? You need financial support more than ever to continue your mission. He advised me to create a non-profit organization to continue my passion. So I decided to take his advice because I've been doing it on my own for all these years, and now I need the help more than ever.
Usman, Abdullah, Mohammed, Abdurrahman, Fatim, Mahmoud. This is your sadaqah. These are all the kids. They need it. See them? See them over there? They need it. This is all your sadaqah right here. So you have to make sure that you give money because there's so much.
So, with the assistance of my support team here in the United States and abroad, in Sierra Leone and Guinea, I founded what is now known as the CSP Foundation.
There's so much that I can't even give all of them, but I have to try, and I have some stuff here to improvise. So you have to be giving money because you see them, they're all destitute. They're all destitute. So if you don't give money to come and help them, it's very, very difficult. I'm kicking them away, but they can't help it because they don't have it. You understand? So we have done for them to make sure that they have things like, so that they can simply do stuff to brush their teeth. This is one of the most essential things here that we give for them. Like a toothbrush. It's a big thing here because one toothbrush is about 3 people that uses it. So everybody gets a toothbrush. You understand? So we give them a teacup because one cup, the whole house uses the cup. So you see, the cup I bought. You understand? This is not an easy thing. It's pitiful.